We are doing our thing. What's going on, party people? Hello, Sam, who is already in the
Sam.
chat. Yeah, we have a brand new like screen, like stream starting soon stream thing. Stream screen. Sunscreen. I don't know what
SPF.
I'm talking about. Yeah. I made one for this podcast, and I made one for the review show. It's basically the same thing, just all styled after the review show stuff. So fancy smanchy new weight screen stuff.
Good.
And then of course we have the brand new look, the same great taste for this podcast as well.
More cinnamon sugar.
Yeah, we got the captain's log thing going on behind us. I also made one this week for the reactor core.
Nice.
So when we do the reactor core on Umbrella Academy Season 2, we will have that ready to go, and everything will look all fancy. Yeah. Yes, Sam, that was brand new. It debuted to you.
Sam first.
Yeah, exactly. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to episode 106, I believe, of the Whatnauts Captain's Log. My name is Kyle Springer, and as always, I am joined by my friend Melissa Wilkinson. Melissa, how are you?
I'm good, Kyle. I'm sticky.
Whoa, what?
So I've just been wearing like a t-shirt all day. You know, I don't go anywhere. I don't see nobody, but I'm like, let me put on something slightly better for the podcast. So I just grabbed this dress out of my closet.
I was about to put on something sticky for the podcast.
The back of this dress like dips down, like it has like you see the neckline? It's the same in the back. It's symmetrical. So like the top of my back keeps sticking to my chair, which I didn't plan on, but at least I think this is going to make me have very good posture for the next hour and a half.
Interesting.
Because if I slouch, I'm going to get sticky.
That's so funny. Yeah, I think like late at night I've sat in this chair like once or twice when I'm not wearing a shirt. I like lean back and I'm like, oh yeah, that's leather. It's kind of sticky.
Yep. I also have a leather chair. This is the danger.
the dangers of leather chairs. Something that was neat. So we've talked in the past. About like certain small things of just like, hey, this makes me feel good, this makes me feel like an adult, this makes me feel like I'm doing some kind of self-care something. What is like the most, not necessarily expensive, but the most like adult thing you've ever bought?
I bought a trifle dish.
Trifle dish. I don't.
You know what a trifle is?
I know there's some people out there who certainly are trifling.
A trifle, it's like a layered dessert, and you can put that in anything. You could put it in a heckin' Tupperware if you needed to, but I wanted to put it in like the legitimate like glass dish on a pedestal, the way it's supposed to be served. So I spent $20 and went to Bed Bath & Beyond, and I bought a trifle dish, which I used once for Thanksgiving.
Is this supposed to be like those plates that have cakes on them, and it's like the glass top that you can just like display a cake?
No, it's not like a cloche. That's like where you've got like the glass cover that you pull up.
These things.
It's French. It means bell.
What they want you to think. That's a strange name, but sure. Bell.
Yeah. Oh, no, it doesn't have a cover to it. I wish it had a cover. Oh, because when you put the whole trifle in the dish, then I guess you just put, saran wrap over the top and take it to whatever party you're going to. It's tricky to transport. I think in the future I might only break it out for parties I have at my own house. But yeah, I wanted professional glassware for specific fancy desserts.
Interesting. I think I only asked this because it relates to the leather chairs. I think the most like adult / expensive thing that I've bought was a leather couch, and that was not necessarily and that was not necessarily out of like a need of like I need a leather couch. But when we moved into the house that I'm in now, the people that we that were the tenants that were here before us, we knew them, and they left some of their furniture because they were moving into, I guess, like a tiny home and traveling basically into an RV type of thing and traveling stuff. And so they had these giant leather couches in the living room, and they were like, well, we kind of need to leave them here. Do you guys want to sell or like buy them and stuff? And I was like, sure, I'll split them if the other roommates want to go in. So yeah, I technically own a leather couch. And it's like a nice one. It's not something that you would get from like IKEA or like find on Amazon. This is like
IKEA
something you have to go
nice
to like
couches.
The old furniture shop.
At first, you owning part of a leather couch along with your roommates makes sense. I thought you were telling me that you, as an individual,
that is the thing,
solely owned a leather couch.
So that's the thing. Like I own one of them. One of my other roommates owns the other one and the chair that goes with it. So I have a leather couch, I guess.
Wow, what a possession.
Right.
I've been shopping around for new couches because the one I have is the one that was in my grandparents' house. So it is probably as old as I am. Mm-hmm. Which is why I have it. Like, we'd go spend weekends at my grandparents' house. I would sleep on the couch every time. That was my dedicated spot. So, like, I had a lot of sentimental attachment to the couch. Mm-hmm. And also, I didn't want to buy a couch when I was in my early 20s getting ready to move out. So I'm like, well, let's take Grandma and Grandpa's old couch that we got after they both died. And I still have it. And my heart loves it. But I'm also like, this thing is looking ragged. I could get it reupholstered, but if I've had it if it's been around for 30 years and it's grown up with me and I'm pretty big, that frame's going to wear out. That ain't a frame that's probably going to last forever. So I'm like, I'm eventually going to have to get a new couch. Yeah.
Oh, there was something. Now that you reminded me of that. In my first apartment in college, I moved into this apartment of guys that I kind of knew already. I knew them from the church that I went to, but I didn't really like know them yet. I actually knew one of the guys that was moving out as I was moving in, so I kind of replaced him. The funny thing is, his name was Kyle. As well, I was always just like, "Hey, you guys are upgrading your Kyle, great." But we had some couches in the apartment, and I want to say it was like within the first week that I lived there, we broke one of the couches.
Oh no!
Just from like horsing around and just doing stupid stuff. Mm-hmm. I don't remember what we were doing, but it was just like one of those apartments. It's like it's a bunch of college guys, and they have shitty furniture and just stuff like that. So good times. Good times.
Yeah.
Let's see here. My staycation this past week was a blast. I took some time off of work this past week and was just like, you know what? I'm not doing any work. And that's what I told him, and that's what I did. And it was fantastic. I didn't go anywhere. I didn't do a thing. I stayed in bed, played video games, watched TV. but I just didn't have to think. I mean, I didn't have to think in general, but I didn't have to think about work or stuff like that. And sometimes that's what you need to do. It's really nice to just like not have a care in the world.
What is your day like when you're done with a vacation and you go back to work?
Not much different.
What? See, if that happened to me, I'd be buried. If I took 3 days off, the next day I came back to work would be like, okay, now you have to work 12 to 14 hours to catch up on everything you didn't do.
I did have to do some catching up, but the thing is, if I'm not there at work, like things still kind of need to get done. And so instead of me doing all of the stuff that I need to get done, my supervisors will get the stuff done that like needs to go out now. So they'll do that. But yeah, there are some things though that they'll just be like, all right, this can wait till he gets back, and you know he can do that there. So I did have to play some catch up, but it wasn't much. It wasn't too bad. And then again, I came back at the end of the week, so things were also kind of winding down on top of that. So today was not bad, but it was good. But yeah, I mean, most of my day, especially here in quarantine, has been like wake up at 9:30 or 10:30, depending on when I want to go into work. I'm technically there every day from 11 to 5 is when I've told them to expect me. That is my time, because I'm still technically part time, so that's why I go in late. But since I don't commute, I am losing out on some hours. And I like the first month or so of quarantine, I would wake up like 10:30, 10:45, roll out of bed, sign on, start working, and I would get like an extra 15 minutes if everything was normal, because the bus would drop me off at my stop, which would get me there like 15 minutes early to work. And when I clocked in, it counted that extra 15 minutes, even though it like rounds to the nearest 15-minute mark. So if I signed in at like let's say if I signed in at like 10:50, it signed me in at 10:45 instead, so I would still get counted as those whole 15 minutes there. And those 15 minutes kind of add up, which is kind of nice. But I wasn't getting that in my like normal paycheck here in quarantine, and so I noticed that my paycheck started to like go down some, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna start waking up early and just working longer to make up for that, because my schedule is flexible, all that stuff. But I've been doing that, so now at least like once or twice a week I wake up at like 9:30 instead and start work at 10. So
do you eat breakfast?
Not really. Not much of a breakfast person.
I am, and I wonder if that's one of my greatest weaknesses in life, and why I feel so far behind all other humans, is that I have to eat a breakfast every morning.
I mean, they do say it's the most important meal of the day, so technically you should be like light years ahead of people.
I feel like people just get more things done in their day when they don't eat breakfast, and all the time I spend making it, eating it, doing dishes, etc. Oh, I wonder where my time goes. I want to see the sliding door of my own life where I don't eat breakfast.
Like I like breakfast. I like breakfast foods. The thing is, I think what turned me off to eating right away is my dad used to make me breakfast all the time. Just like every morning before high school and middle school too, he would make me breakfast, and it was amazing. It was fantastic.
Ooh.
It would normally be like pancakes or French toast or like an
What, you get
omelet,
that on a weekly basis?
like a daily basis, yeah.
What?
Yeah, or he'd make me like ham, egg, and cheese bagels, or stuff like that. And that's just what he liked to do. He was just like, hey, just let me make you some food.
Wow, is this what you get for being an only child? Is you get like a custom elaborate breakfast every day?
Pretty much. But that's the thing, is I got tired of it, and just like the like teenage boy in me was just like, I want sleep. Like, I'm sorry, Dad. I love you. The food is great, but I want sleep. And yeah, I also like, it's not that I was turned off of those foods, because I still love them, but I just can no longer eat like first thing. Like, my body needs to wake up a bit first before I can really chow down. I can have smaller stuff, but with like all of those pancakes and all of that French toast, it was heavy.
That's a lot.
Yeah. So I was just like, I give me like some apple juice or something. I'm good. Hey, don't make fun of me for my apple juice. I like apple juice.
I just don't imagine what kind of sustenance you can get out of an apple juice that's really going to energize you for your day.
Apples. Juice. You can get juice. It has 100% concentrate in it. It helps me.
It helps you focus.
Yeah. No, yeah. I can't eat first thing now. What I've been doing, or I guess what I've kind of done at work is I would bring like a granola bar, a thing of string cheese, some applesauce, and that's usually it as like a pre-lunch snack. That's usually like right when I get to work, around 11-ish is when I would start to eat that. But I would just take my time with it and be like, okay, I'm gonna have the granola bar. Then 11:30 rolls around, like, okay, string cheese time. Get there. Nom, 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 nom. Yeah, I don't know, but then like, I don't ever do diets or stuff like that too, so I tend to inadvertently kind of do that like intermittent fasting thing, where all the stuff that I eat is within like a smaller amount of time, right? And then you don't eat for a longer period. I don't know exactly how those things work. I guess it's supposed to be that you eat everything you need to within a period of like 6 to 8 hours, and then for like 14-ish you just don't eat, right? And that's supposed to like, okay, well, it's burned through all of the food that you did eat, so now it's starting to burn through the fat. And I don't know, I don't do diets or gym stuff, so I
maybe I ought to, but for me it's like, well, I ate 5 salads this week. I went for a walk, and that ain't bad. I don't know. I'm living.
Good. That's good.
I got other things I'm focused on. Like, I want to get better at meal planning. I made those 5 salads in advance.
There you go. Good stuff.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Time management is my main concern right now. I don't care what I'm eating. I just care like how efficiently I can prepare it.
Well, now that I have completely bored you to death with my work routine and my breakfast routine, Melissa, I wanted to talk about Lucifer a little bit more.
Okay.
I am mostly, I'm like 2/3 of the way done with season 2 of Lucifer, but this show got better. This show is it's a great show.
We both enjoyed it to begin with.
Yeah, I don't know if she survives until season 4 or not, but they introduced the lab technician, the character.
Is this the woman who's on the thumbnail image in Netflix? Because one of the rotating Netflix thumbnail images for Lucifer is this law enforcement lady who's not in season 1, and I don't know who she is.
It could be. I don't know if I've seen that particular one. The one for me right now is Lucifer's actual like red devil face.
Wait, I haven't seen that one. I either get this detective woman or I get Lucifer holding up the auction placard with the number 69 on it, which is always a treat.
Yeah. So she's like the person who works in the lab. She studies all of the evidence and stuff like that. She seems really young. She seems like she's, I don't know, 26, 28, around there. But I like her a lot. She's fantastic.
Good.
She's a great character.
Fun.
And she's really cool. But yeah, just like the whole drama between the characters, the tension is phenomenal. The cases are starting to get more than just here's just a one-off case of the week.
Good.
They're starting to kind of, here's a little bit of a larger case that is happening between 2 or 3 of the things there. And then there's some family drama and stuff like that happening between the cases that is really, really good. But it's doing something that is really strange.
Okay.
There has been at least 2, arguably 3 moments so far in season 2 that are arguably season finale worthy moments. Yeah, like there was a certain character that died and all of this stuff, and just like this, the whole like event of this character being there and dying and all of this stuff was just like, what is going on? This is intense. Oh my goodness. And then that was like episode 6 of like 18 for season 2, and it was just like, what is going on? There's more? Okay, here we go. And then yeah, like there was something else that happened at like episode like 9, and it was just like, this is the mid-season finale? My goodness. Like, yeah. So I it's a little bit strange to me because I'm not used to having shows have that many big moments and then still continue on with the season. I feel like that's probably something that shows when I was a lot younger did, but I just never really noticed or paid attention to, or they still weren't getting into the like stronger narrative stories and stuff like that. Because I remember like X-Files back in the day, which you're our resident X-Files expert. But I also. So I haven't seen much, but I don't remember them like eventizing like, and don't miss the season finale, where there's like some big thing. It was just like, okay, that's it for this season. We'll be back in 2 months. You know,
they had some big season finales.
Maybe they did. But I'm just not used to a show having like multiple season finale like type moments in a single season. So I'm wondering if that is partly why it eventually got canceled. Tinfoil hat is now on.
Okay. Alrighty.
I don't have much more to it than that of just like, what if this structure was so weird that people were like, oh, I thought it was done. I didn't know it was continuing. And then they like
people were counting the episode order, and they're like, that seems like a finale. So I guess I'm not tuning in next week because I presume we're done.
Maybe, I don't know. People are dumb sometimes. I don't know. But yeah, I'm really enjoying season 2 of Lucifer.
Good. I did really enjoy that show. I'll have to pick up the rest of that at some point.
Yeah. And I know you've been watching Umbrella Academy season 2. because we're
Yes.
about to do a reactor core on that one on the road. You said you were how many episodes you had left?
There's 10 episodes, right?
Yes.
And I think I've watched 8 of them so far.
Okay. Good stuff. Thumbs up.
Yeah.
Thumbs down.
Yeah. Yes.
Thumbs in the middle.
No, thumbs up. Yes.
Thumbs up. Okay. Yeah, I've heard really, really good things. I'm watching it as well. I think I'm on like episode 6 or 7.
Okay.
So I'm just a little shortly before you there.
Have you already gotten to the Backstreet Boys number?
I don't know.
This is a show with a lot of needle drops, a lot of musical montages, and there's one where they play the Backstreet Boys Backstreet's Back, all right? And
I don't
good.
think
It's a really good
have
one.
that one.
I think you'd remember. I mean, you don't forget when the Backstreets are back.
All right.
All right.
I'm trying to kind of figure out a way to say where I'm at without spoiling it for people out there.
Before Backstreet Boys, after Backstreet Boys.
Yeah, the Backstreet Boys are not back yet.
Okay, all right.
No, so I think
Just
they just realized that they're gonna have to disband the cult.
okay, yes.
If
Yeah,
that makes
that's
sense.
before. That is before Backstreet comes back.
Okay, I'm like right around there shortly after that. But yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, good stuff so far.
Mhm.
But I will save my full thoughts for the reactor core, of course.
Yes.
But I'm enjoying it. I have some things I don't like though. Or I guess one thing that I don't like in particular. But I'm hoping that changes by the end of the show, or end of season 2. We'll see.
Mhm.
But good stuff. That show is a lot of fun.
It is.
It's just it's that like weird, nonsensical. Let's just have a blast and do stupid things and get into trouble, and it's so good, and the music is fantastic. So,
Yeah.
great stuff.
A lot
I
going on there.
I saw a lot of people being like, "Hey, if you guys like this, don't forget to go watch Doom Patrol.
Yes.
Go watch that because that is the same kind of like fantastically strange and
Mhm.
weird superhero stuff. I like so good things there." But yeah, we are doing another episode of the Reactor Core soon. You were the one that suggested this,
Yeah.
which I'm excited about. We're kind of in a unique opportunity to do that there, since we've already covered season 1 on whatchamacallit, the review show. You know, that one podcast that we do with the red
that you created and
background.
named. Yes.
Yeah, that one. Yeah, so I'm excited for season 2 to talk about that. I think this weekend or early next week is when we'll be recording that, so be on the lookout for all of that stuff down the road. Ye people out there, ye landlubbers. I don't know why I'm in such a pirate mood today. That's what I decided to go with the
I don't know.
tweet.
I think it speaks to a craving for rum and citrus.
Citrus
maybe-
would be nice. Yeah,
Yeah. Make sure you don't get any scurvy.
scurvy's bad. Did you ever play? Oh, there had to have been a different name for it. Remember when the Pirates of the Caribbean movies were first starting to get big?
Yes.
Or like they had been big for a while. I think the third one maybe just came out. But they had a Pirates of the Caribbean dice game. It's the one that they played in the movie, but they sold get the board game now, blah blah blah. You know, you buy it at
No,
Target.
I don't. I don't remember this.
Man, at my summer camp, my church's summer camp, this is one of the things that we used to do all the time. We would play Pirates Dice. I don't think it was the official rules, or I don't know if we had the actual like board game and we just took the dice and the cups and stuff like that. But we had a whole game where we would just play Pirates Dice, and that was like the thing to do. It was fantastic. It was great. I'll have to see if I can remember how to play it or something.
Yeah.
That may have been the actual game, but I just for some reason felt like you weren't playing it right. You just made up our own thing. But I don't know.
The big game of my middle school, I think a little bit in high school too, but mostly in middle school, it was Lord of the Rings Monopoly.
Oh God, I have a story to tell about this. It was great. So continue on yours first before I
That's basically
interrupt you.
In elementary school and middle school, I was in a gifted program. And in middle school, it was like a separate room off of the library that you could just go hang out in periodically throughout the day if like you already finished your work in another class or like it was slow or something like that. So we'd go hang out. It was called SAIL, for Students Actively Investigating Learning.
Interesting. Okay.
Yes. And it was just filled with like...
More like Suckers Actively Investigating Learning, if you ask me. Got him.
It was filled with, I don't know, like smart kid stuff, I guess.
Okay.
Othello, Blockus, smart kid
Blockus?
games.
The hell is
Yeah,
Blockus?
it's like Blockus?
Blockus?
It's like...
I think that's the British version. Hey, that's Blokish.
Blockisto. No, it was like Tetris, but a board game. Like you had these plastic polygonal pieces that you had to like fit together in a grid. I don't know. But one of these games we had was Lord of the Rings Monopoly. And we played it constantly. Okay. And then my parents bought me my own Lord of the Rings Monopoly. And I still have it. And we still bring it out at parties.
Nice.
And we would play it in Jack's basement. And we would find different ways to, I don't know, not hack the game. But like we came up with nicknames for... We came up with nicknames for all the pieces, or we'd replace like the little pewter Lord of the Rings figurines with like plastic Pokemon. So I'm not Galadriel, I'm Clefairy now.
Okay. Good stuff.
God, I miss Monopoly.
I was never much of a Monopoly fan.
So I got this Lord of the Rings Monopoly in like middle school, high school. I never had OG Monopoly. So whenever people make references to it, like, oh, that's a Park Place, or that's a St. James Avenue.
Sure.
Like I don't
Boardwalk Avenue.
Yeah, I don't totally get what it means. I don't have that mapped. You're going to have to tell me, like, which one's back end, which one's Mordor.
You mean Mordor Avenue? Never heard of Boardwalk Avenue.
But when I was 10, I think, my mom took me to an anime store, which was a very big get for me. We had to drive all the way out to, like, St. Peter's to go to this anime store.
The old anime store.
Right. So, and they sell like board games, gaming stuff there too. Mm-hmm. And my mom sees like a big collector's edition Monopoly game. And she's like, oh, I'm going to get this for your dad to play with his friends. Because my dad he was going out to a buddy's house for like a guy's night that night. My dad's friends are all nerds. Mm-hmm. Just like my dad. She's like, oh, I'm going to get this for him. Like, they're all going to have so much fun. So she brings home this collector's edition Star Wars Episode 1 Monopoly game.
Oh, man.
Not Collective Star Wars. Episode 1 only. He brings it home to Dad. Like, you can play with this with your friends. They love Star Wars. He looks at her. He's like, Anne, they're Trekkies. So I did grow up with Episode 1 Monopoly.
Great.
All I remember from it is like the funky little plastic Coruscant buildings that you had instead of houses and hotels, and the Moisture Farm card. Because Just
Moisture farm.
the phrase moisture farm just cracked us up. It still cracks me up. It's like cellar door. It's the best phrase in the English language. Moisture farm.
That's almost as bad as just the word moist. Just by itself, moist. How about a
But
moisture
the word
farm?
moist, that's what allows the Skywalker family to earn a living across several generations. If it wasn't for moist, Luke wouldn't have any blue milk to drink. He'd be living off sand.
No, thank you. No, thank you. So Buffalo Wild Wings hanging out
Yes.
at like some like teen church event thing. I don't remember what it was for exactly, but we were at this Buffalo Wild Wings for a long ass time. One of the things that we would play back in the day was Risk. That would be our big thing, just big long Risk games. And a friend of mine got a collector's edition that was a Lord of the Rings Risk. And yeah, it was the whole like Lord of the Rings map, and you could go to Mordor and the Shire and all of that stuff. But the collector's edition came with like real silver pieces and stuff like that. It wasn't like fake me out chrome painted things. Like this is made from real silver.
Well, that's silver. It's probably also pewter,
sure,
like my Lord of the Rings game.
Well, yeah, but so he was so excited about this. Of like, this is an expensive board game. This is one of my favorite things. One of my favorite movies. Like, nobody fuck this thing up. And so we brought it to Buffalo Wild Wings, and we
Kyle,
started playing.
You could stop right here.
Yeah,
bringing a collector.
Yep.
Risk has a lot of dang pieces to it, Kyle, and you're gonna bring it to the innocent people of Buffalo Wild Wings.
This was not mine. This was a friend of mine. This was his thing. He brought it there. But yes, I agree with you 100%. Risk and Buffalo Wild Wings don't mix.
Well, not in the Buffalo Wild Wings. Take the Buffalo Wild Wings to go to your house.
We put the Risk in Buffalo Wild Wings, let me tell you. But so there we were playing playing Risk at Buffalo Wild Wings, and it was that point after we had eaten, we had been there so long. It was that point at the night where we were just doing stupid stuff. Hey, I have this cup. What if I put 2 of these chicken bones in there, half a napkin, a thing of ketchup in there, mix it all up? Who would drink this? And
who will drink this napkin?
Yeah, this like soggy napkin with ketchup and like old Sprite and Mountain Dew mixed in there, and like, just like this terrible concoction of disgusting stuff, right? And we were trying to be like, I'll give you $30 if you can drink this whole thing. And of course, no one would do it, so we moved on.
I don't imagine any of you had $30.
We probably did, but just like that was all we had. I have $30 to my name. But so we moved on because no one was game for drinking disgusting things. But
nobody wants to suck Sprite out of an old napkin.
No thanks.
No.
But the cup sat there. It stayed there. And we continued playing Risk, because as you know, a game of Risk can be like 6 hours, right? So we sat there playing Risk, and while someone was making a move, they took their piece, reached across the board, knocking over this drink onto the board with all of these silver pieces and stuff like that. And the immediate reaction of my friend James, who owned this board, was to like stand up, shoot up, and be like, "My risk board!" And he flips it. He grabs the board and like flips it up to get the liquid off, because it's this like disgusting like barbecue sauce mixed with ketchup and Sprite and old water and a napkin, and it's just like
Old water.
just like melted ice. You know what I mean? It's just this disgusting liquid, and it is now all over Middle Earth. and he lifts it up and flips it, but all of the liquid goes right onto my friend across from him. Just like completely throws it on that guy who just gets showered with all of this disgusting stuff. and yeah, it was disgusting. The pieces were everywhere. It was a nightmare. But that was just like it was such a funny moment for us, that like his first reaction was like, "Oh no, we need to pick up the water and get napkins and stuff," and like not he like lifted it up and freaked out. It was like, "My wrist board!" Ah!
Was it okay?
I'm sure it was fine. I don't know, but it was just a funny moment of like, that was the first thing he went for, and then the poor guy across from him that just got showered with this disgusting stuff all over his face. Good times. Speaking of,
don't imagine.
oh,
I'm just saying, I
ahead.
don't imagine the Buffalo Wild Wings enjoyed any of this.
I
don't
doubt
know how
they did.
permitted this to happen.
I doubt they did. I'm wondering if we like rented out a section or whatnot, and that's why we were allowed to be there. That
Did you have
long.
Adults?
Yes, there were adults there. They
Oh,
weren't
okay.
playing Risk with us, but we had like a big section of the
Okay.
There were like multiple tables.
That
and
makes
stuff.
me feel better that it is like a sanctioned church group activity with adult supervision, and not just like you and some buddies from your church group go and stay too long in an innocent sit-down restaurant.
No, yeah, we never did that stuff. But speaking of restaurants, Melissa,
Yeah.
I want to know, what was the most disappointed you have ever been at a restaurant?
Oh, I've got one. I don't think I told you this already. Maybe because it's not very exciting, but it fits the
Okay.
bill of the question you asked me.
I mean, sure, it's a simple question. When were
Okay.
you most disappointed in a restaurant?
Okay. Andy's frozen custard.
Ugh. Fuck you, Andy.
No,
Not that bad. No, don't fuck him. Don't fuck
no,
Andy.
hold off. Hold off
Okay.
on any fucking, please.
Okay.
So last year, I'm hanging out with Jack, and we go to Andy's because she wants Andy's. But I think I'd already, like, I ate dinner late. I wasn't hungry. I didn't
Mhm.
get any. But I'm looking at the menu, and I'm like, oh, they've got a key lime pie, custard concrete. That looks really good. I'm going to have to come back and get this. So I come back like a week or two later. It's already off the menu. It was a seasonal thing. I missed it.
Mhm.
So I said, next year, I'm making a point of this. And I did. I've been looking at their menu. I've been looking at their website. It says key lime pie arriving
There you go.
mid-July.
There you
So
go.
I waited till like July 18th. I'm like, it's mid-July now. Couple days past the halfway mark. You got to have this. So I go to... There's an Andy's frozen custard across the street from where I drop off my recycling.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm going to make a whole night of this. That is packed. Like, it looks like it's probably going to take me 40 minutes to get through the drive-through, because it's in this cute little neighborhood, and it's like every family is like, let's take the kids out for custard.
Yeah.
Packed. So I'm like, okay, I can't go to this one. There's another Andy's that's by my house, just in the opposite direction of where I was going. I'm going to this other
Choices.
Andy's.
Choices are
Right.
good.
So I drive to the other Andy's.
Mhm.
I get out. I'm looking at the menu. I don't see it. I don't see the key lime pie custard. And some teen opens the window and he's like, "Ma'am, can I help you?" I'm like, "Do you have the key lime pie concrete?" And he said, "Yes, we have key lime as a flavor." And like, "Can you make me a medium concrete?" I have to keep stopping myself from saying the proprietary word blizzard.
Right, yeah.
So he makes it for me. And I'm looking at the menu and I realize the sign for the summer seasonal special, the key lime pie concrete, is not up there. But in a little list under like the various flavors you could mix into something, they have like just lime flavor syrup.
So you like, just got just regular lime and not key lime?
Like I think he misunderstood me, misheard me, and I'm just gonna get a cup of just lime frozen custard, which is all right. Andy's is good frozen custard, but it wasn't what I wanted. It wasn't.
It's
what
not
I
even lemon lime. It's just lime,
and it doesn't have like the pie pieces in it or like the the crust or the whipped cream. Just lime custard. And I see him making it. I'm like, oh, that's just a green cup. That's just a cup of green stuff. Like it's fine. I'll get it, and then I guess I'll come back later when they do have key lime pie.
Yeah.
Pie's the important part. I get the custard. I get home. I take a bite of it. It's not even lime. It's mint.
Oh no.
He just reached for the wrong green bottle. I don't know how it happened.
That is disappointing.
It was better, though. So I'm like, I don't know what I could have done to doctor up like a plain lime custard, but if it's mint, I'm like, oh, I still have Thin Mints left in my freezer. I've got some Oreos. Like, I've got chocolatey stuff I can mix in here.
It's like, I turned it mint into is not a good. Bad flavor. It's just that you were expecting,
right?
You were already disappointed and you weren't getting one thing, and then it's just like the weird disappointment and like, oh, that wasn't even what I got. Like,
but I kept looking at the website, and I did find when they actively said, "Yes, now we have key lime pie." So finally, I was able to go and get my key lime pie concrete, and it was very good.
Good stuff. My first job was at an Italian ice shop, Rita's Italian Ice. And they are very good, and I miss them because we don't have them here in Richmond. We don't. I think we might have some down in Virginia Beach, but there's none here. They're big up in like Maryland and Philly.
Okay.
Like that. But yeah, most disappointed I've ever been at a restaurant was at Macaroni Grill. Do they have macaroni grills out where you are?
There's some of them. I've never happened to be at one.
Okay, they're your typical Italian restaurant, Olive Garden like.
Right. I haven't been Olive Garden that many times because we have a really good local Italian chain called the Pasta House.
There you go. Okay, the international.
So if we go anywhere, we're just going to Pasta House.
Pastas. Yeah. So I used to love their macaroni and cheese as a kid. I would get their macaroni and cheese because I still hadn't really adventured out yet into like food world and like what is pesto. What is, what is this stuff? What is, like, I just want mac and cheese, guys. Like, not that hard. And so they had mac and cheese, and it was my favorite macaroni and cheese. It was amazing. It was great. And they did this thing where they put paper down on the tables. It was like a big sheet of paper and they would give you crayons and stuff, so you could draw on the tables and stuff like that. And when the server came up to get your orders and stuff, they would write their name, be like, "Hi, I'm Charlie. I'm gonna be your server." Blah 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 blah. And yeah, it was good. It was really, really good mac and cheese with the, I'm not a chef, so I don't know the name of the noodles, the like round, like circular ones, the like tubular ones that were cut at angles.
Oh, penne.
Those. It was, yeah. They used.
I figured you would have recognized the shape of a penne noodle just from Lost memes.
What's the
I love you, penne.
Oh. No.
You haven't seen that? I saw so many I love you pennies.
Yeah, that's funny because like that's the thing. I've not even seen the meme, but I immediately understand it. Like it's because of his accent. It's his accent. No, but like it had a whole bunch of different cheeses, and it was a great cheese sauce, and it was melted, and it was like super stringy and melty and cheesy, and it was great. It was a kid's dream, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, I googled the phrase "I love you, penne."
It's the first
and I found a picture of a sweatshirt that says "The penne is mightier than the sword."
Penne is mightier. Okay. But so then I don't remember. I want to say it was for like a birthday of mine. I don't think it was for a birthday exactly. So maybe we were celebrating something. Like we won like a soccer game or something, and my parents were like, "We can go get dinner wherever you want. Where do you want to go?" And I was like, "I want mac and cheese. Let's go to Macaroni Grill." And we do, and we go, and I get my mac and cheese. And Melissa, they changed the recipe, and it sucked. It was so bad. It was just like a lot less cheesy. The sauce was completely different. They used a different type of noodle, a different type of cheese for all of their stuff. It was not good whatsoever, and I was just supremely disappointed in that. It was terrible.
That's one of the hardest things to come to terms with as you age. Restaurants changing their menu and they make the food different.
Yeah.
Because your mom doesn't do that.
Yeah, it's bad.
My mom has made potato salad the same way for 30 years.
Yeah. Your mom comes home one day. Sorry, kids, we're under new management. We have a new...
There's celery in it now.
God, that is like the worst feeling though. Like being disappointed is one thing, but being disappointed in food is like the worst. The worst thing. Or like when you have no food and you just like, I don't want to go to the store because I'm too lazy, and then you try to make something out of the like nothing that you have, and it's just like, I have a butter and something and like peanut butter sandwich. It's just like, what do you do?
Peanut butter and non-peanut butter. Cow butter.
A cow butter sandwich.
I think one of the most disappointing feelings that nobody talks about is when a family member has a birthday and you're expecting that you're all going to go out for dinner or like order pizza or something. And instead they're like, we have food here. No, there's leftovers we can eat. No, I don't need to go out for my birthday. Is that
what you think of me?
We'll eat the leftovers.
I'm the leftovers? What have I become to you?
Mom, don't treat your birthday like leftovers.
Right?
Or like I always wanted to have like a nice meal on Christmas Eve. And by a nice meal, I mean steak and shake.
Okay.
My parents would get so busy around the holidays, and like they plan something for like Christmas Day, and it would be Christmas Eve, and they're like, "What are we having?" And they're like, there's tuna. I cooked for tomorrow already. I didn't cook anything for today. Restaurants are already closed. No, you can't have steak and shake."
Yeah, I think that's we don't really have a holiday tradition like that, but that is usually the thing of like the main stuff we will eat is on Christmas Day. The kind of day or two before is kind of fend for yourself. We might have something maybe a little more fancy here at the house, but we might just get pizza, or we might be like, let's go get some Whataburger or something.
Oh man, you've Whataburger in Virginia?
We don't, but I've had it in Texas when I used to live there.
Okay. Kyle, yes. I meant to tell you. So my parents went to South Dakota this week.
Okay.
They drove into Wyoming to look at something. Our parents were all in the same state.
There you go. With our parents combined.
Right. I don't know what they're going to do, but it made me feel magical.
Yeah. Good stuff. There's I've been through North and South Dakota once. Not much out there.
It looks pretty. My parents keep sending me pictures. They saw a bunch of buffalo. Yep. They sent me a picture of Devil's Tower. And I'm like, I recognize this from the mashed potatoes.
Been there. Well, from the mashed potato. What are you seeing in your mashed potatoes?
Close Encounters of the Third Kind. He's seeing premonitions of the aliens, and the aliens are coming to Devil's Tower. And he's eating dinner, and he's sculpting the Devil's Tower out of his mashed potatoes. He's trying to explain it to his wife, and he's like, I don't know, honey. It's just that this is important. This means something.
I have never seen that one. Never seen it.
It's a good one. I saw it in. Did I tell you about that film class, film studies for kids class I took in the gifted program? When I was in the gifted program in elementary school, this one was called Galactic. Which stood for Gifted Alternate Learning Activities Involving Children.
Wow, someone really worked hard for that one.
They went full Kids Next Door on these acronyms. And the way this one works, so in middle school, it was like kind of a clubhouse you would go hang out in, and they had some scheduled planned activities, but a lot of it was like you free reign over the computers, over the board games, over these arts and crafts supplies. You kids, make your own intelligent fun. And in elementary school, there was one day a week where you would go to a whole separate learning center at the local high school. So they'd bus kids in from all the elementary schools, and we had a wing of the high school that was just for us. And we'd go from class to class, and we had like a semester of classes that we would sign up for.
Okay.
And there were no tests or grades or anything. Like, it was just a day of different activities in all of these classes.
Sure.
And I took a film studies class there. They showed us like Casablanca and Citizen Kane. And they showed us movies about being a gifted child, like Searching for Bobby Fischer. And I think we watched Close Encounters for one day in that class.
Interesting. The only film class I took was like a Southern history through film class. It was like the most generic thing you could think of. We ended up watching an episode of God, why am I blanking on the name right now? That vampire show in the South.
True
Blood? There we go, True Blood. We watched an episode of True Blood. We watched another vampire movie.
Another one?
We did. That was on the section of like gothic horror, like Southern gothic stuff.
That makes sense.
And then there were Southern vampires.
I was expecting, it's like, okay, yeah, we're watching In the Heat of the Night.
we watched, I think we also watched like Casablanca or something, or like Gone with the Wind, or who knows what. I don't know.
Casablanca takes place in Morocco.
See, the history of the South. No, I don't remember exactly what we watched, but I remember True Blood because I think we saw a titty in that one. But
oh yeah, titties a poppin' in True Blood. I've seen the pilot episode of True Blood in my freshman dorm. In like the common room, sometimes the RAs would try and like, especially during the beginning of the semester, the RAs would try and plan like movie nights. And
hello, fellow kids.
Right. And one night it was just, we're going to watch the first episode of True Blood. And if people like it, we're going to keep watching True Blood. And I don't think enough people showed up, but I did.
That's funny. I never had a dorm experience. I skipped the dorms. Immediately once I moved here to Richmond, I replaced a Kyle. I moved into an apartment, and I've always been in an apartment.
I stayed in dorms, but then I would go home every weekend. So I'd a modified dorm experience. Yeah.
I kind of
I went to college
like
just
that though, to have like a, hey, here's a show. If anyone wants to watch it, we're starting it now, and it's just gonna be on throughout the next couple months, right? We're just gonna be watching seasons 1 through 8. Here we go. It's kind of a cool thing, though.
I like it. Yeah, interesting that they picked True Blood, a very nude show.
It's college.
I guess that's
kids.
College. They
that's
wanted
what they
to.
Want.
Yeah, they
Titties
wanted to
a-poppin',
show us kids like
you said.
This is college, guys. We're gonna watch a boob show.
Good stuff. Other TV news. The one thing I wanted to mention: Mulan coming to Disney Plus for $30. Down the road here, I don't remember exactly when they said the release date would be, but it's coming soon.
How long do you have it for the $30?
I don't know. I should have pulled up an article. Too bad I don't have a machine right in front of me where we could find out this information. There's no such technology whatsoever, which is a shame because that would be super handy, super helpful, right? No, I wanted to see what you thought of having Mulan come to Disney Plus for $30, because this is $30 on top of your subscription already.
I think it's a decent idea. It just depends on how long they give it to you for. Because I think for Scoob, when Scoob came out, because I needed to watch that immediately, like, because we were doing a Reactor Core episode about it. It was a brand new rental that was $20, and I got it for 2 days. And I wished it was either cheaper or I had it for longer. So for $30 on top of a subscription price you're already paying, I'd want to have it for at least 5 days.
Yeah. I think having...
Or have it come with, like, bonus features. Well, I don't know if they'd have anything ready at this time, but like a 10-minute featurette or something, some bonus tacked on there.
Let's see here. So this is according to The Verge. Mulan is heading to Disney Plus on September 4th for $30. Blah, blah, blah. $30 fee will be on top of the $6.99 subscriber fee for Disney Plus customers. The company told Insider that the $30 acts as a purchase. As long as people subscribe to Disney Plus, they'll be able to access the film. So
that's
you'll
not bad.
Just, I guess, eventually have the film on Disney Plus.
I wonder if they would add featurettes onto that. Like, I know I don't tend to buy digital movies, but I think if you buy something off like Apple, it can come with some bonus stuff. I know some platforms offer. I think that'd be nice if they added that on whenever they had it.
I would imagine they would eventually just make it available to everyone. And this is just like, hey, you can pay $30 now and have it in the library for as long as you want now. And then maybe in a year from now, we'll actually put this out on Disney Plus for everyone. For you don't have to pay the extra $30. But Disney Plus is also really, really good with doing like behind the scenes documentaries and stuff like that. Like they did one for The Mandalorian. They did one for all sorts of stuff. So I wouldn't put this past them to just be like, hey, here's a commentary thing, or here's something else, right?
For a second I thought you were gonna stop. Like, here's a Common. We made a documentary about Common.
Look, I'd be all up about that,
right? Strange, but okay, I'll take it. I'll learn about his life. Today, I think they released a documentary about the lyricist Howard Ashman, who wrote the lyrics for Little Mermaid and Beauty and the Beast. And I believe had other credits to his name. He worked
an advertisement for that somewhere.
Yeah, I'm going to check that out at some point. He died tragically young, so I'm going to have to save it for a time when I feel like learning and being sad, and I don't know when that time will be.
Yeah.
But in his honor, I will watch the documentary about him.
Yeah. But so now knowing that you have to pay the $30 on top of the fee, but you get access to it basically from the time you pay forward. How does that make you feel? Like, are you okay with Disney doing stuff like this for more movies?
Yeah, I think that's a decent. It's a decent plan, and I think it works really well for families.
Mm-hmm.
Like some of these movies I've rented, they seem expensive to me because I'm the only person who is going to watch them. And like when I paid $20 for Scoob, I would have paid $10 to like actually go see it in a movie theater. But if I was a family, family of 4, I would have paid $40 to take all of us to see it in the movie theater. I just pay 20 at home. It's half the cost, and we can all see it together on the couch in our pajamas.
Yeah, it's good for families in that sense.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily like the price. I think it's way too expensive. I could see 20. I think that's how much Scoob was. I think that's what you mentioned. That made sense because that is about equivalent of what I would pay if I went to the movie theaters just by myself and bought one ticket and then bought like a snack, right? I would pay roughly about that much there, so that makes sense. But I'm wondering, like, how much of this are they considering a convenience fee versus like, hey, it's always going to be cheaper to go see it in theaters or see movies in theaters once theaters open back up. But yeah, like how much of this do they consider a convenience fee? Like, we're charging you more because it's convenient and you can watch it at your house.
I don't know. Maybe this is when we're maybe this is the time to figure out like what is an appropriate convenience fee. Let's set it here. Maybe for the next movie it's $25, depending on the feedback.
That's the thing. Like, I could understand them charging more for maybe the stuff that they know. That's the thing. Like, I feel like Mulan will do gangbusters for them anyways. But like, I'm in my mind, I'm comparing Mulan to like Black Widow, right? I feel like Black Widow is gonna smash it. Is gonna smash Mulan.
Yeah, like that I would buy, no question, if that was my only option.
Sure, yeah. Whereas Mulan, I'm like, I mean, I could see paying 20 if I was really into Mulan, but I really don't want to pay the $30 to go see Mulan. Like, I feel like that's way too much. But I don't know, or just the fact that it's on top of my subscription already. Like, can you do it where it's like $30 to non-subscribers and then like $25 for people who are already subscribed? Your service, like,
or if they had like a pre-order option. Yeah, if you the day we announce it, if you order in the next 5 days, you get $5 off.
Something like that would be neat. I just don't think $30 is it. Not a good look, in my opinion. But
for me, it would depend on. I like how much time you get with the movie, but it would also depend on what kind of bonuses they're able to add on there.
Sure. And I think in general, I like it. I like that that they are starting to become more and more okay with releasing stuff on digital. But at like I don't know. Like, I don't want movie theaters to go out of business, but I can see movie theaters then starting to focus on more like special experiences and really making them like, hey, this is a special experience. And I kind of like that too.
Yeah. Like, do it like have like, if it's a theater with a bar, have like a custom cocktail.
Alamo.
Or just a custom snack. Yeah. It's like, we made candy popcorn tonight. Yeah, it's colored and it's fruit flavored. It's special. I'm like, heck, I'll give you an extra $2 for that. Sure.
Yeah, like I think we're reluctant to give up movie theaters because of how eventized it has been. Of just like, let's go to the movies, right?
Yes.
So I like that, but I'm also like, I would love to just sit at home and watch that stuff.
Not me. I like the theaters. I've had two very vivid dreams this week
Ooh.
about local movie
Really?
theaters.
Do
Yeah.
you remember them?
Yeah. I went to Ronnie's and I'm watching something on the big when you go into the Ronnie's, which is the biggest theater around here, it has like 20 screens. And it has like a little like diner in the lobby that's set up to look like an old like 1950s drive-in. So like you're sitting in a booth that looks like an old car, and they've got a big projector screen where I think they're showing just like old public domain movies or episodes of I Love Lucy, stuff like that. In a dream, I'm just standing in a big crowd, and we're not in any of the theaters. We're just watching that movie play over the Fred's Drive-In Diner. And remember when I was telling you about the Galaxy Theater and how it's got that second level where they were supposed to put an arcade and they never did?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I had a dream that they have movie posters up there, which they don't in real life. There's nothing up there except an ominous glowing red neon sign that says redemption. But I dreamt that they had movie posters up there. One of them was a poster for Doolittle that had Michael Sheen's character on it. And I'm like, I gotta get this for Jack. This is your gift. It's a Doolittle poster. It's Doolittle merchandise. Did I dream that they also had the movie poster for the Nicolas Cage movie Lord of War?
Okay.
Where he's like a weapons dealer, weapons manufacturer.
I think that's based off of a comic book.
I don't know. I've never seen the movie, but I remember the poster was like bullets and weaponry and stuff, and it's a mosaic that makes up his face. And I had a dream that I went up to the second level, and they've got all these movie posters. And like to promote the movie Lord of War, they had like bullets lying around, not real ones, like plastic ones, but they're just like in piles on the floor.
Sure.
And it's like, yeah, take a Lord of War promotional bullet. Take it to your friends.
That's so funny. Did I tell you about my bullet sculpture that I made in high school? Yeah. I made a peace sign and an American flag out of bullet shells, real ones. And they were all spent, but yeah, there was one girl who was looking at the thing and goes, "This is really good. What are these?" And I was like, "Oh, they're bullet shells." And just immediately when she hears that, she just goes like completely white-faced and goes, "Oh, so many people must have died to make this."
Like you had access to an evidence locker.
Like, no, I just went to the gun range and picked him up off the ground. That's all I did. But yeah, that was so funny. Next one, I should make Nicolas Cage's face out of bullet shells.
Out of anything.
Right. Good stuff. Melissa, you have written down here, you accidentally spent the week in the uncanny valley.
Yes.
What is this?
So you remember a couple weeks ago, I was talking about I had vague, fuzzy memories of the movie Bicentennial Man, and I was like, is that a real movie? I watched it this week. Heck, it's a weird one. It's so strange. This is a movie I remember seeing and liking when I was 10 years old. I felt touched by it. The message of the film worked on me. And watching it for the first time in years as an adult, I can still see everything that worked on 10-year-old me, but I can see how preposterous the movie is, how unsettling the movie is. If you don't know, Robin Williams plays an android who slowly upgrades his body with biomechanics until he's eventually completely human and mortal, and he dies at age 200. Thus the title Bicentennial Man. Weird
movie. I remember, like, I think it was a couple weeks ago, I asked you a question of, like, when you think of blockbuster, what are the movies that you think of? This is one of the ones that I think of. It was around that time. I remember seeing it in the stores, all of that stuff. I don't think I've ever actually seen the movie. I might have caught a little bit here and there on TV. but I remember it. Like I remember seeing commercials and trailers and stuff like that.
I don't think it's a movie you forget if you have seen it. It's very unique. It's watching the movie felt like drinking straight vanilla extract. It's so obnoxiously
Never done that
sweet.
before, so I.
But like vanilla extract, it's not like maple syrup or something. It's not just sweet. It's like it's like an alcohol. Like it's sharp. It's very overpowering, and that's what this movie is like. Like it's sweet to such a high degree and unsettling to such a high degree.
Uh-huh.
It's like I take one taste of it and I want to like backpedal away. I
Weird.
need it diluted. It's too concentrated.
Like, was the CGI just like way too smooth and?
Oh,
like,
no, it's a practical effect, Kyle. They wrap Robin Williams in an android suit.
Oh, man. He is.
This is what I'm talking about when I
Going for
say I went to the uncanny valley. The next night I watched Dick Tracy.
Okay.
Which is all prosthetics. It's based on these old comics. Dick Tracy's basically just like a cop, I guess, and he wears a yellow trench coat and hat and has a radio watch.
Indeed.
Which was the bee's knees in 1932, I suppose.
My grandpa was a big fan of Dick Tracy comics, and when he passed away, my mom tried to give me a binder full of like photocopied Dick Tracy comics that he had kept.
Photocopied?
Yeah, just like from newspapers or books or who knows what, of just like when he was a kid, somehow like these were his favorite comics, and someone found like a collection of them and I guess like photocopied them for him or something. And I was just like, like thanks, but I don't really need photocopies of the Dick Tracy comics.
Right. But all of his enemies are these really cartoonish looking goons. Dick Tracy wears a preposterous outfit, but he looks like a man. His enemies, they'll have like a giant nose, or there's a guy named, I think, like Little Face, and his face is small in the middle of a giant head. He looks like a jack-o'-lantern somebody made wrong.
There you go. Good stuff.
Like I printed out the template, but whoops, my pumpkin's too big. I can't print out another template. I just have to punch on these little eyes. And
What is this, a template for ants?
Right. That's what he looks like. They're all weirdos. They're all prosthetic weirdos. Yeah. And it's so unsettling and gross.
That's kind of Batman, though. Like, that's comics nowadays.
No, I was watching Dick Tracy, and I'm like, this makes Batman Returns look like a regular time. It makes that movie look exceptionally normal.
Yeah.
It's, I don't know, like, there's no charm. I'm watching a board meeting with all of these prosthetic goons with their weird proportions. Like, this is the least appealing place I've ever seen in a film, outside of things that are obviously dystopian. Like, of course, I'm not going to go into a Mad Max world, but this is like a city where there's like cars and phones and food and like dresses and things, but I still don't want to go there.
Yeah. Good stuff. Like, I don't know. Trying to think of like the weirdest like uncanny valley level thing I've seen. Nothing is coming to mind though. I'm wondering if we go back to go watch like I, Robot or something.
Final Fantasy: The Spirits Within.
Yeah, right? A terrible movie. Bad stuff. Yeah. Well, Melissa, you had a question written down here. But what do you say we save that for next week?
Okay.
Because I have a game that we can kind of play based off of that.
Heck. All right, the anecdotal keep.
Yeah. Next week, we're going to be talking about some of the dumbest things we have Googled. It'll be a great time, I'm sure. We're going to be playing a kind of Google search game that we can play. So I have a couple of them written down. I'll come up with a couple more. It's not hard to make. They're super simple. But, you guys can look forward to all of that next time.
Yeah.
Let's wrap things up here for now, though.
Yeah.
A little bit of housekeeping for you all. Be on the lookout for our latest Patreon exclusive episode of the Reactor Core, which should be up by time this is public. So be on the lookout for that. That was our third installment of our movie trailer reactions, which will be coming just in time because what we are covering on the review show this week, we also watched the trailer for in that podcast. So that was a lot of fun. Be on the lookout for all of that stuff. We are covering Murder on the Orient Express this week on the review show, and also coming up soon, our Umbrella Academy Season 2 coverage on the Reactor Core. So we got all sorts of things coming up down the road. We got tons of podcasts. You guys can keep up with them all on our website, thewhatnots.com, or wherever you get your podcasts. Just type in the Whatnots, and all of our shows will pop up right there. If you like what we do, patreon.com/thewhatnots is where you can support us for as little as $1 a month. The $3 tier will get you access to all that exclusive content for all of our shows. And of course, we want to give a big shout out to Sam, who is one of our patrons at the $5 tier. So thank you, Sam, for helping us out and supporting us. We appreciate it so much. Thank you. It means a lot. Yeah, that being said, Melissa, where can the people find you on the internet?
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Wilkywit. That's WILKYWIT.
You can find me at Yo Kyle Springer on Twitter and Instagram. If you guys want to stay up to date with our shows, we are at The Whatnots on Twitter. Go like, share, subscribe, do all of that stuff. It would help us out a ton. Subscribe to us on YouTube. We're sitting at 82 subscribers right now. So it'd be nice to bump that up to 100 one day soon. So if you could help us out and spread the word, that would be great. But that wraps us up. This has been episode 106 of the Captain's Log. We will see you guys next time. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you so much for checking out our podcast. We hope you enjoyed that one. Leave a comment down below with the time you were most disappointed at a restaurant. We want to hear your stories, stuff like that. In the meantime, you can also go subscribe to our channel right up here in this corner. That would help us a ton, so go hit that button. And then go watch one of our other videos right down here in that corner, because we got a bunch of podcasts for you to check out. We hope you enjoy those ones as well. But until next time, we will see you then. Bye.